Happy August to you, everyone. It's Julie here. Last month, Looking Within celebrated its 1-year anniversary. It's been wonderful to be with you each week during the past 12 months, and we look forward to being with you during the coming year as well. As the summer soon comes to a close, post-production editor Nicole Osterhout and I are taking a few weeks off to prepare for the new season. We want to still be with you, though, by re-releasing a few of our favorite episodes from the past year. Today's episode was our first episode and originally aired on July 8th, 2019. Enjoy, and blessings on your day or evening. Welcome to Looking Within, a podcast for the spiritual explorer in each of us. I'm Julie. I love to explore the inner life using contemplative practices, and I love to help others to do the same. In our time together, I hope you gain a sense of hope, meaning, joy, and love. Keep in mind, today, I'll be speaking from my own perspective as a Christian spiritual explorer. If you resonate with another way of experiencing the divine, that's just fine. Feel free to use the spiritual perspective you are most comfortable with in our practice today. Now, let's begin. This first episode of Looking Within is a bit like a first meeting between two people who may end up developing some kind of a relationship or even just a relational moment. You want to get to know a bit about the other person so you can find some common ground perhaps, or just to enjoy or figure out where a person is coming from in their approach to things. So, who am I? Vocationally, I've had several different eras in my journey. Some years as a nurse, quite a few years as a worship leader, planner, keyboard player, and vocalist. And now, most recently, I've had this wonderful thing called contemplation and contemplative practices that I've felt a real calling to. I've been a Christian all my life, but I'm much more of a Christian/eclectic explorer now. I still find my roots and foundation as a follower of Jesus, but increasingly I'm finding the insights and wisdom of other spiritual traditions to be just as valuable and helpful to an individual and to the world. Each tradition contributes something to the understanding of encountering God's immediate and loving presence. Each contributes something to how we as human beings can be loved in a hurting world. I have to say, I've never been more excited about my own spiritual journey, and I hope our conversations and the introspective times you find in this podcast will bring a sense of new life, growth, and spiritual awakening to you as well. As you clicked on this podcast, perhaps you were curious about what a contemplative podcast would be about. We all kind of get what the word contemplate means, to view or consider something with continued attention. Our time in this podcast, to look within, will encounter contemplation in not just an intellectual way, but by actually moving beyond and outside of our minds. This leads us to experience and see God in ever-expanding ways, which makes our spiritual journey very rich. We discover more and more than ever before the deeper and even existential dimensions of our lives. It's so worth taking the time to explore this part of ourselves and our journey. As we meet for the first time in this episode, I want you to know that a hallmark of most every episode of Looking Within will be some minutes for you to ponder a question or two that I'll pose to you based on some opening thoughts that I'll share. After I pose a few questions, I'll invite you to close your eyes, I'll sound a Tibetan singing bowl, and I'll invite you to take some moments to meditate on or to contemplate my prompt for you. Quiet music will be playing during that time, so I think you'll find those moments very comfortable and doable. If you're already one who loves some time for introspection, or one who is engaged in some form of meditation or quieting your mind, that's great. If not, I'm betting you'll readily settle into and enjoy these moments of quiet. Giving you this introspective time is really important to me and to the purpose of this podcast, as I very much want to guide and facilitate your opportunity to look within, something you may not always have or take the time to do on your own. I hope my words and thoughts will stir things in you that will lead you to new discoveries about your spiritual journey. And as we chat together each week, I hope that you'll develop a greater awareness of the presence of the divine inside of and all around you. Now, let's look at the theme for this episode, entitled My Inner Life, The Hidden Me. I'm suspecting our inner life can seem a bit more hidden compared to our outer life, that it's a bit quieter and less commanding of our attention. Our daily schedules and outer life responsibilities often keep us so busy that life can feel overwhelming or even somewhat chaotic from time to time. Actually, it can appear that all there is to us is the outer life. But when you finally have a slower, quiet moment to yourself, you might sense that inner part of you calling out for your attention, asking you if there could possibly be more to your life than a full calendar, more than just holding on until the next vacation or event or weekend when you can maybe feel a little less exhausted, and more to your life that would help you feel more holistically filled and centered. Let's take a few minutes now and give some space and time for you to listen to your inner self. Today, it will be enough just to quiet down for a few minutes and to allow your heart and spirit to speak. It will be enough just to shine the light of your awareness on that more hidden inner part of you. This basic awareness and quieting is an important part of your journey. In this quiet space and time, I'd invite you to gently close your eyes. I'll sound the Tibetan singing bowl, which will call you to look within. As you're listening to the bowl's reverberations, take 3 deep breaths. Then let your breathing return to normal whenever you'd like. Hear the sound of the bowl now. Let it center you. Let it remind you that God is here with you. So, what's on your mind and heart today? If given the chance, our inner self has lots to say to us. Perhaps you feel worry, frustration, or anger, confusion, grief, or regret. Perhaps you're feeling a lack of control, or you're feeling overwhelmed by something at work or at home. You might be repeatedly rehashing something from the past, or worried about something in the future. Or you may be feeling just extremely joyful and content today. Whatever it is, clearly name it to yourself and mix this action of naming with some refreshing silence as well. I'll be back with you in about 3 minutes. I'd invite you now to take a few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Let these breaths fill you with strength and energy. Hear me sound the Tibetan singing bowl, and as the sound of the bowl reverberates and slowly dies away, you can gently open your eyes, remaining still for a moment longer. Please don't underestimate the importance of what you just did. It's so easy to go through each day without an awareness of our inner self. This inner part of you is the essential and truest you. It is the you most connected to God. It will travel with you throughout your life, and it will thrive and come alive in a joy-filled and purposeful way if it's regularly given your loving attention and awareness. Find some quiet moments to listen to what it wants to say to you. If your body is feeling off or if your mood is kind of dark and low, that's often a good signal to apply some awareness to your inner self. It's often in the simple naming of something that has been a bit hidden on the inside of us that our next steps become a bit clearer and our spirits just a bit more refreshed and encouraged. Thank you for making time for your inner self today. Whatever you've discovered and experienced, carry that with you in the coming days. You can find more episodes at our website, gloria-dei, that's DEI.com/lookingwithinpodcast, or subscribe through your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time.